Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's session of the benefits of the iNaturalist app for woodland groups with CWA. My name's Sharon Smith and I'm the Member Support Officer here at Community Woodlands Association. And I'm delighted to have you join us today for this session on getting heard and using this app to support the work that you do here in your woodland groups. We're joined today by Rydian Knight, who is a forest ranger at Friends of Glen and Wood, a community-owned stretch of temperate rainforest at Portaveddy in southwest Cowal, and a beautiful place indeed that is over there in Argyll and Bute. Holding a degree in outdoor environmental education, Rydian has spent almost 3 decades providing experiential and transformative nature-based opportunities in Scotland. In his spare time, he runs a small native tree nursery with his family in Tignabrew, I hope I've pronounced that right, and pursues a woodland crofting lifestyle. He's going to share with us today how he uses the iNaturalist app to support the work he does at Glen and Wood. And during this session, we will gain an understanding of how to set up a geo-located iNaturalist project for your community woodland, learn how Glen and Wood uses the application and how the Cowal Rainforest Restoration Project uses the data as part of its umbrella project, and learn how to personally use the app to make observations and how woodland users can contribute to a project. Before we begin, I'd just like you to indulge me in me telling you a little bit about Community Woodlands Association, as we've a few non-members joining us today. Community Woodlands Association helps communities connect to their woodland. We have over 200 members, most of whom are community groups owning or managing woodlands in Scotland. One of the benefits of being a member of Community Woodlands Association is that we advocate in the political arena on behalf of our members. So, for example, we not so long ago responded to the deer control consultation on behalf of our members. We provide support and advice to our communities who are looking to start up a community woodland group or who already have a woodland and are looking for ongoing support. We listen to our members' needs and then support with training sessions, exchange visits, mentoring programmes, and we also have an annual conference which we had recently in October in Inverness. With Piers Voicey, who is in our team, he's on the call today. He's our professional forester who's able to provide paid advice and consultancy to any of our groups. And we work in partnership with strategic partners across Scotland to make it easier for our communities to be actively involved in woodland management. And if you're not a member and you're interested in becoming a member at great value for money, then please just scan this QR code. I will put the link in the chat for you as well, so that you can have a look and see some of the things that you can benefit from becoming a member. So that's my little blurb over. Rydian, I'm about to stop sharing the screen and hand over to you. So thank you very much.
Welcome, Sharon. Good afternoon, everyone. Could you, for the purposes of just short feedback loop, give me a little thumbs up if my voice is heard? Can you hear my voice? Great, that's a really good start. Okay, so welcome from Tignabrew. I'm here at my home. It's a short hop, skip and a jump over to Glen and Wood, where I work as a forest ranger there, but really happy to be on the call today. I think the idea for doing this sort of emerged out of the Community Woodlands Association conference in Inverness, and I can see a few names and some faces that people were around the table with me that expressed a bit of interest in hearing our story. For me, context is always really important, so you're going to get quite a lot of context today, which I guess you wouldn't get in a sort of a tutorial video. I am going to give some opportunity for you guys to participate rather than just stare at me on a screen. There's no obligation to participate, but I know some people learn and feel more engaged that way. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just to open the chat box and just declare yourself welcome on the call. There's no obligation to participate, but when I do these things, or when I'm on these things, I quite like the chat. Sometimes you can glean things that you don't just get from the presenter too. Little bit of housekeeping. If you can mute your mic if you haven't already. And Sharon is going to be forwarding the chat a little bit because there will be some content as well, which I'm going to be delivering. So little bit about my context, and you're going to get a little bit of an opportunity to share yours and why the app might be useful to you in a moment. I am the perfect candidate for delivering this today because I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert tech guy. I'm not an expert ecologist. I work for a small charity that is a community woodland. I don't have a load of staff or people to go to for support, and I learned the kind of ropes for using the iNaturalist app within my context on my own with a few little tutorials. So I'm pretty confident that anyone can do it. The other thing is I don't work for iNaturalist. I'm not on commission. I just happen to have found that it's been really, really useful for our purposes here. So as the Forest Ranger Service, I'm the single employee. It's like I am the nodal point between the public that come through the woods and the membership and the natural world. You know, we don't have a lot of interpretation signage. I'm kind of like part of the I'm the interpretation guy. And what's really humbling, but also a massive privilege with my job, is I get to meet specialists. There are all kinds of really enthusiastic, amazing ecologists and archaeologists, and people with really specific windows that they've spent their whole lifetimes honing in on. And I'm really privileged enough to take walks with them, and they can try their best to impart information. And so there's that whole thing about, well, how do I make the best of that privilege and start introducing those windows to people that are just coming to the woods for the first time, or how can I deepen the breadth of their engagement with the wood? I mean, that's my job. And it's a process. I remember when I started to inherit like bunches of lists and was like, hey, here's an A4 page of 50 different moths. I'm like, oh, great. Thanks. I think like sticking a spreadsheet up on the notice board is not going to be engaging people about moths. So I was trying to find ways in for people, I guess. There's a real difference between a kind of two-dimensional blinkers on walking the dog amidst the wall of green to a really deep, rich sensory engagement with a complex ecology and loads of cultural archives. And it's the same place, but there's something about how do I as a ranger help cultivate sort of shared perception and shared appreciation of our community woodlands. That's what I see as part of the job. Initially, I had this idea about just posting cool finds on my social media page. I was encouraging people that came through the wood, if they saw something pretty, they didn't have to know what it was, but they could take a photograph, they could call it a cool find, and then there would be a little bit of engagement. Totally fell on its, I was going to say arse, but perhaps we shouldn't swear on YouTube, Sharon. So it totally fell on its oxters. And I was drawing down lists from the NBN Atlas. But it's dry, and actually you need to have quite a lot of skill in being able to draw down this information. So totally inappropriate for your average dog walker. So that's my context. I wanted something that was user-friendly and that everybody could engage with. I wanted to be something that's open. And I wanted to be something that doesn't exclude any species. So plants, animals, fungi, all the kingdoms. So that's my context. For you guys on the call, if you want, I'd be interested in your context, whether you have a job like mine and you wanted to make something transparent for everyone, or you might have a specific window that you might want to keep secret. You just want to record boletes in your back garden. I don't know, everyone's context is different. So if you want to write yours, You'd be very welcome. So this is how the story goes. Oliver, welcome. I see you on the call. One such expert is a chap from Plant Life Scotland. His name is Oliver Moore. And Oliver has been helping us within our community-owned rainforest to try to get a group of people interested in recording and showing exposition for the incredible diversity of lichens that we've got there. I think this was like the second time Oliver came. We'd had 2 training days. This was quite possibly the 3rd or the 4th day. And during the lunch break, one of our trustees was talking about recording, how can we record things? And one of the participants, his name is Luke Senior from the Kilcoen Melford Trust. He was along. I think he was just along because he was a pal I used to know on Iona, and he was living fairly locally, and I know he loves lichens. He trained at Kew Gardens, really trust his expertise and his thinking, like, implicitly. He's a great guy. So Luke came along and he said, I'm using this thing called iNaturalist. It's really good. And he pulled out his mobile phone and he pressed, he opened up the app and he typed in Kilcoen Melford project. And we were presented with this big, long, pictorial, like colourful thing of all the different species there. It was absolutely incredible. And, he only maybe gave a little 2 or 3 minute chat about how he used it. But essentially, they've got like a staff team of like 25 or something there. But they'd also drawn in all of the different users that were going through the woods. And there was this incredible array of species lists, which I could instantly resonate with, because it's pictorial. So I left that day with a kind of diary date with Luke, both to look at the NBN Atlas, but also to look at how we can set up an iNat project. And that's how it was born, just out of a lunchtime casual chat on some rocks during a lichen course at work. And I'm delighted to say it's grown arms and legs. Just towards the end of the presentation, I'm going to introduce how to set up a collection project right now. That's what I'm going to be doing for the next little bit. But at the end, I'm also going to share an umbrella project, which has emerged as a result of us setting up a collection project. Ian Dow, I also see Ian's on the call, has set up an incredible umbrella project, which takes both our collection project into account, but also the other collection projects that fall within the core rainforest restoration area in my region. Glennon Wood, incredible community woodland, but also hoping to form part of a landscape scale restoration project, which is, we don't live on our isolated islands. We're part of something else, aren't we? So are you ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. That's my context. This is going to be recorded. So all of the information that you're getting today, you can review again. And in a moment, when I stop talking, I'm going to share all of the links that I'm going to present to you today. So you can copy them, stick them on a Word document, so you're not going to miss anything. Okay. So that said, I have 2 side missions for you while you listen to me talk. The first, if you wish, is to pick up your phone and to open up Google Play, or if you have an iPhone, whatever that one's called, open up the shop or Google and do a little search for iNat or iNaturalist and press download. Yeah, the phone can just go to one side. You're not going to need that for a little bit. The second thing, if you want another side mission, is to type into your web browser iNaturalist.org. Again, you don't have to do this, but you can. If you type in iNaturalist.org, and I'd like you to sign up. It's going to ask you for a username and a password. And you can choose your own name, or you could choose your job title, or you could choose something that doesn't have any identifying markers. It doesn't matter. As you'll see later on, when you set up a project, you can make yourself invisible. Siobhan, are you okay? Is this working for you? Yeah, cool. So if you set up a username and a password, and it may prompt you later on in your email to verify you are. It's one of those two-step things. Okay, so there's some two side missions. If you're still doing that, or whilst you're doing that, you're not going to miss anything. I'm going to share my screen just now, and I'm going to show you the front end. Share a window. Okay. Here's some pretty pictures of where I live, of my woodland. So, iNaturalist, it's a brilliant citizen science tool. It's really accessible. It allows all of the woodland users of all levels to get involved. You don't have to be an expert, as I say. I'm finding it's going to be a really good way of storing lists that are accumulated at specialist events. If you were to have a BioBlitz, like every year we have a butterfly ball with the kids, and we have an expert lady of moths and butterflies that comes along, and this is going to be a way of populating our iNaturalist project with all of that stuff, both with pictures but also with geolocated markers. On the PC, when you sign into the PC later on, you'll see that all of the observations are observable and recorded and verified on a geospatial map. So that exists for third parties to see. That may come in handy for you for funders. It may come in handy for you for woodland users. Oh, I love that photo. Someone's hitting a ride there. Sorry, I won't get distracted. What I also really love about it is it has a strong community of interest outside of your geographic area. So if people in my woodland are recording their cool finds, they don't necessarily have to know what it is. There's a whole world of people that log on to iNaturalist that really want to help you make that identification. So again, you don't have to be an expert. You don't even have to give a hint of what you think the species are. The crucial thing is getting a really good quality observational photo or recording. We'll come on to that a little bit later. What also is great is you can protect the geolocation of any sensitive species. You don't need to have data on your phone in the woodland in order to make the observation. And if you're really old school, you can upload via a camera on your PC when you get home. I know a couple of people that do that. What I'm personally enjoying just in my own time is you can also follow naturalists that you really rate or you have relationship with and see their cool finds. For example, my pal who lives locally, Ben, found an otter up near Collintrive the other week. It was an amazing photo, and I thought that it was through a camera trap, but then I saw two separate pictures, and so I know that there's a story there right now, and I definitely would have missed that on a Facebook post. But you know, you can log into iNaturalist and you can hang out with people that have similar interests to you or a little bit further down the pathway. So it's, you know, you can learn stuff too. Okay, let me see here. This is what it looks like. When I sign in, I've just gone with a generic title as Glennon Wood Ranger Service. And yes, these are my personal observations. You're going to get a chance to do this in a moment. The world. This is Glennon Wood where I work. This is your own page. Bear with me a second, Sharon. I'm finding that I can't see where I'm wanting to post. Let's move a few things along. Down there. So you have your personal page. Yeah. But then you also have your project page, which is kind of the meat that we're going to look at today. Can you see that okay, Sharon? Can you see that?
So we're seeing Friends of Glenham Wood with a big green box at the side of it, is that right?
Perfect. Okay, that's absolutely great. The first thing, can you actually let me know in the chat, just give it a yes when you've got a username and password set up on Friends of Glenham Wood. That might be really useful to know when we go into the wee break here. Again, if you miss anything, don't worry, this is recorded. I'm going to put all the hyperlinks in everything that I'm going to cover in the chat. Okay. So the first thing you need to do when you set up your own account is get out there and record 50 observations. Yeah, you're not going to be able to set up a project, a collection project, unless you've made 50 observations. Now, those observations do not have to be in the geographical area that you're hoping to set your project up in. Yeah, they could be in your back garden. They could be off on your holiday. It could be anywhere in the world, but you have to get 50 verified observations, which fortunately for most of us is quite an enjoyable experience. If you're out in about 15 minutes time, you can take a photo on your phone, and let's see, you take a photo, or you can take a recording. Yeah, you could take a photo of a track, you could take a photo of some scat, you could take multiple photographs of whatever it is. Yeah. Later on, you can hide those observations when you set up your project. I'm going to show a very brief video of how to set up an observation on iNaturalist. Okay. Can you see that?
Do we need
Sharon,
sound, Rudian?
I think we can do that. Hang on a second.
And can I just clarify, an observation then for everybody is either a picture or a video that you've submitted, you've uploaded onto this app?
That's correct. It could also be a sound recording. And also many people are using things like building recording of the device.
Rudian, this isn't playing.
I know, I've not pressed play yet. I was just answering your question.
Sorry, I can hear a lot of background music.
Okay, so you've installed the iNaturalist app and created an account. Time to get outside and record your first observation. Here's how to do it. Any living thing, like a plant, animal, or fungus, can be an observation on iNaturalist. Once you find something you'd like to record, just tap Observe and take a photo. You can review your picture, then hit Next if it looks good. To identify it, hit What did you see? If you have an internet connection, iNaturalist will suggest 10 visually similar species and often a common ancestor. You can choose one of those or search for a species name. On this observation details screen, you can add more photos of the same organism or write a note. The date, time, and location have been automatically added. You can also change the geoprivacy of the observation, mark whether it's captive or cultivated, or add it to a project. Once you're finished, just hit Share, and your observation will be uploaded for everyone to see and identify. That's it. Keep on exploring and sharing.
Okay, I can say it's really simple. Once you get going, it's designed to make it intuitive and user-friendly. Okay, we're going to dig into some the meaty bit. I would like you to know that this More tab here, do you see that tab there? I'm pressing More.
Yeah.
Is your friend. Okay. With the More tab, what you will first of all need to do once you have you record your 50 observations, and then you will have to wait a couple of hours to a day before you can create a project. Okay, that's just how it goes. It's designed so people just don't hoy in there, create loads of projects and disappear again. Now, the hardest thing that you will need to achieve is to make a place. Okay. Go into the More tab, you create a new place. This is what it looks like. Okay. I wrote Argyle for my parent place. And then what you're going to need to do is to find a polygon which goes around your area that you're doing your collection in. For the purposes of this call, let's just call it your community woodland. Now, I think I got my polygon from our existing long-term forestry plan repository, which was My Forest. I'm pretty sure if you don't have a polygon of your land, you could get one from the land registry. But you will need to have that in something called a KML file. Now, when I first downloaded the file, I can't remember what format it was in. It could have been a JSON file, it could have been a KMZ file, can't quite remember, but it wasn't the KML format. So what I did was I found some free software online for converting it from the format into a KML format. Then you upload it and it's done. You get an opportunity in this menu here to call your place something. I chose to call Glenwood Territory because I thought that was most fitting for a community woodland. But there is I'm going to drop the link in the chat. There is a tutorial here about how to make a place. It's not hard, but you will need a polygon. I suppose if you don't have anything, if you have no map whatsoever of your land, you could physically walk around it using some mapping software. You could create your polygon that way, or you could draw it on a map. Okay, so that said, you will need a KML file, yeah, which is a polygon, the shape that goes around you. And when you upload it, you know, there are satellite imagery or open maps that the iNaturalist software uses, which will geolocate your project. From that point forward, when you've got your place, then every photo which is taken within that place becomes part of your project. Okay.
I've added the link into the chat, and I've just been trying to capture some of the things you've been saying, Rydian.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to drop all of these links in the chat as well, so it's there. I keep threatening to do that and then not. Let's have a little look here. Hello, chat box. There you go. You can have those and look at those at your leisure. So the KML file was the hardest thing I had to do. It probably took me about 25 minutes of figuring out how to do it, and using some online conversion software, you can definitely figure it out. Then let me just find the right page, and then this is all what you do. You create that's a place. Then all you do is you go to the you go to start a project. Yeah. Choose collection project. That's the sound of the bullet. You can put up a project banner, you can put up a project icon, you can change the color of your background, You've selected check. Then what are we going to do? I think we're just going to do fungi for this one. Fungi including lichens, and we're going to do that in our place, which is the territory known as Glen and Wood. And okay, we're going to leave users for now. You can invite people to administrate your project with you. You can find people that you know and trust, such as my pal Luke, to get involved with the setup because he's done it before. And then you can choose whether it's just for you or it's for the whole world. Again, you can look in the help section in the More tab about all of this stuff. But we chose for research grade. We wanted people to be verified by 3 people before it becomes a thing. Otherwise, we could call, with casual, you could just call a bolete a deer, and that's fine. We didn't want to do it like that. We wanted ID research grade. That means 3 independent verifiers that agree that that a deer is a deer. You could choose your media type. We did any. This is all really self-explanatory. I'm not going to dwell on this at all.
Brilliant. Can I just clarify that when you're setting this up, you need to set it up on a computer rather than on your app on your phone?
Yes. So when I'm recording data in the field or project users are, I use my mobile phone camera app in iNaturalist. Yeah.
Yeah.
When setting up the project or even getting a username and password, I believe you have to use the app on the PC. But anything that I put on the PC, I can then read in my app. But yeah, that's right. You have to set it up in the PC. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. The other thing, I mean, you can look at all. You can populate this with the way in which it best suits your needs. But for the Glennon one, we didn't exclude anything. We had animals, plants, fungi, all of that. And then once you've done that, you have a project, it's live. Now then, what I'm going to say before a short break is that the setting up of the project is the easy bit. There it is. Whoop, whoop, the sound of the bleats is now live. Now, I could leave that there, and what I'm not going to get is 1,000 members interacting with it, right? It's like once it's there, you actually have to find ways in which people want to engage, and that's the thing. But you will find, I'm pretty sure, is that you will have members that are passionate about something within the woods, or if you've got a specialist event happening, then you can start to populate it and generate a little bit of a buzz. I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment. Okay, I'm back in the room.
Your camera's off, Rudian.
Thank you. Can I just get a little bit of feedback as to who now has a username and password for this app? Who managed to do that as a side mission? You just drop a yes in the chat if you've done that.
Well done, Andy. I'm set up on the app, but not on the desktop. Oh, excellent, folks. Well done.
Quite a lot of people. Okay, and we have an hour for this call. Okay.
Rudian, just so you know, it's 25 to 3.
What's that?
It's 25 to 3.
Great, that's absolutely fine. We're finishing at 3 o'clock, is that correct?
Correct.
Great, all right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have 5 whole minutes of giving you guys something to do. If you haven't set up a username and password, yeah, and put it down on your phone, you could do that for the next 5 minutes or make a cup of tea. But for those of you that have the app, I would like you to leave this physical space and go outside and find 3 things that are alive. And I'd like you to capture them on your phone, and you can let me know what you've got, if anything, in 5 minutes time. Yeah, I'm going to do that because the 50, you're not going to get anywhere. That's fine, Sarah. If you're Do you have a username and password? Putting you on the spot there, aren't I? Sorry. If you don't have a username and password, I would suggest that would be a really good next step. But I'm going to give you 5 whole minutes to go do that, starting from now. If there are any questions which are burning, you can reflect on that and put them in the chat, and I will do my best to answer that during the remaining part of my presentation. Let's call it 4 minutes. We'll see you back here in at 22. Okay.
Perfect.
Good luck.
Just turn your cameras off and mute your mic. Don't leave the call.
My friend Maeve Sharon used to say, when there was lots to do, she used to say, so much time, so little to do. And that whole thing was like, actually, when there's a lot to get through, is to create some spaciousness, and then it'll do it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
welcome back. There may well be some people outside in the world right now having a far better time than sharing a screen, and I promise you they won't be missing anything, because this is recorded and we've got all of the information is provided in the links as well, so we're good. So just for a moment, while we are letting the last people come back in, can I just invite anyone to share what they might have seen, found, or recorded? I love the oh, with Gareth. Do you want to try unmuting, Gareth? Hey, hello. I recognise this lady. Did you get outside?
Hey, Ridian, yeah, I did. I've got 3 different, well, I think I've got some recumbent juniper and a couple of mosses, which are still unknown at the moment.
Beautiful.
I've uploaded them, and then you just wait, do you?
Just to concentrate on getting some observations for now. You don't have to, yeah, you could just wait. That's right, just wait. Personally speaking, I don't enjoy the AI. I don't use it. If I don't know what it is and I can't get it from the guidebooks, I'll wait for someone within the community to suggest an idea, and I'll let that go along my path. You know, I let that sit for a bit. Yeah, you can use the AI function to make suggestions. You can do that if that's your bag. I'm just not quite there yet. Yeah. I just don't use it. Zaz, you're frozen. I thought you were deeply pondering, but your screen's frozen. It's
Oh, I'm having horrendous tech issues today. I can't write anything in the chat or anything today. So I'm sorry about that.
Sarah, that's awesome. Rescue. Oh, I was going to say you must live in an incredible place. But are these things that you've translocated from somewhere else?
Yeah, Radiant, I'm in Stricker. I've been rescuing windfalls, and 10 months on, I've managed to translocate them successfully onto very, very young trees that I've rescued and rewilded, and also rocks. So I'm going to get in touch and see if you want me to fill your woods with pulmonaria lichens. You have some, I see.
Do you know what's great is when... Sorry.
No, you're fine.
What I'm fortunate enough is when I hear those words, I get colours in my head. So I'm just going to say yes right now, but I look forward to the email. But that's amazing. I'm going to share a few pictures too, but I wanted to give maybe 2 more people a chance to share what they found in their backyard or outside their office. It's not obligatory. Okay. I'm going to share a couple of pictures from our project just now, just to give you a sense. Share window. Okay, so this is the geolocated area of our project, Glennon Wood. You can see there's quite a big grouping here because that's where the entrance is. So you can get some sort of bias in that direction sometimes. Yeah, the entrance is kind of here. There's a lot of flowers and stuff. This is our main forest path along here, but never mind that. Look at some of these pictures. I'm just going to keep flicking through while I talk because they speak 1,000 words. Now, the quality of the images and the notes that you can make about them is the #1 way to draw in engagement. So you can encourage the people that you know well to really focus in on that. There are some here which are like absolute gold standard. There's one of Ian Dow's there. So, you know, some people might choose specifically to go out and look for something, but as I say, you can encourage your woodland users, if they spot something that's beautiful, is to share it.
They truly are stunning pictures, aren't they?
They really are, yeah, they really, really are. Now you can go, when you have your own user account, you can search Glennon Wood as a project and you can join it, and then you'd suddenly be up to date with more cool finds that are in our wood. You can do that. But I do want to stress that the quality of the images is helpful, particularly when it gets to identifying some of the lichens and bryophytes. I've definitely got in trouble for not got in trouble, but I put up some poor quality images and they've not helped at all. Something that you might come into contact to is come up against is how do you let people know that you're even doing this in the wood? I'm considering right now coming up with a small sign and a QR code that links people to the app. And in the help section, in the more tab, there is a tutorial about using the sort of proprietary images. There's some stuff around the iNaturalist app logo. But I think the word on the street, from what I can gather, is you can totally use that. And what I'd like some kind of noted thing on the notice board that says, you know, we're using this here. But yeah.
There's a couple of questions in the chat for you, Rydian.
Yeah.
Murray's put in 2 questions. Can we upload old photos of things we have seen already to make observations? And what if you want to record something that we haven't managed to take a photo of?
Great. Let me stop sharing.
There's also another couple of questions as well from, I've got one from Siobhan.
Yeah,
and
great.
one from
Let's have
Caroline.
a look. What if we want to catch something? How can we upload? Okay, Mary. So it's a total success story. The answer is yes. I have a local volunteer that had been taking notes and pictures for the past 20 years, old school, yeah, and sort of putting that on a dusty shelf. And one of the huge wins this year for all of my community is now that he is totally engaging with this app, and a lot of his historical field observations and photos are now getting uploaded into the public domain. It's brilliant. The thing about the old photos is that you will have to geolocate them. You know, you'll need to pin them on the map. I've not personally done that myself. All of my observations have been live, but totally, you can totally do that. Yes. And oyster catcher, Elster, that's fantastic. I love oyster catchers. So if something you haven't managed to take a photo of, so if Elspeth could hear the oyster catcher, she could take a voice recording of it and you could upload that. The crucial thing is, in the way we've set up our project, is that you have to have three independently verified observations. So that there were 3 people within the iNaturalist community that have gone, yeah, that's an oyster catcher. Yeah. Then that becomes what they call a research grade observations. Yeah. A research grade, it's not, I can't remember, it's not the word. Observations is just when you take the image or upload the recording. It's but it's verifiable with 3 people. You mentioned project administrators. Do they have to have 50 observations? No, the person that sets up the project has to have 50 observations before he or she can set up a collection project. You can invite who you like, as long as they're part of the iNaturalist community. They've got a username and password. They can be an administrator. Siobhan, not a lot is is the short answer. You don't have to do anything at all, but I have the sense that as your project grows arms and legs, there are going to be people with field notes, but also with questions. You know, where did you see it? What time of day was it? What could you upload another picture of this scat or whatever it is? You know, it's like there are people are really interested, and some people are really engaged in making a correct identification or challenging ones that isn't. And so the project, so it's a little bit like being an admin of a Facebook page in a way, I suppose, is that there are people want the project to engage with them as well as them engaging in the project. I guess that's what I'd say. I suppose if you've got a lot of time, you could also be welcoming new members. You could be thanking them for their pictures. You know, you'd be engaging with the social side of it too. I hope that answers your question. That's what I've got off the top of my head. My photo has been identified, but when I save, it says unknown species. Caroline, I think I probably need to be right next to you in order to troubleshoot that. I think if you take a couple more pictures, you can figure that out. It's pretty intuitive. Sorry, I can't be more helpful. Do you make use of Seek as the first step? I haven't been using Seek or anything to do with the AI at all. I'm just doing this at the moment. Ian can't reinforce enough about the quality of images for fungi and light. That's cool, Ian, because we've said that 3 times now. That's usually pretty good for reinforcing. Yeah, Is this helpful? Sorry, I'm doing my best in the
Absolutely.
chat.
Yeah.
Can we upload or record territories of bird? I haven't come across range within the software, just sightings, Murray. But that is interesting. I'm not sure. I've not come across that yet. We're getting towards the end of the time, so
I've got a really important question, Rudian. So if you're using, you've got your mobile phone, you're out and about, you're using the camera within the app to take the picture.
Yeah.
That will geolocate it. If you didn't have signal, because a lot of
totally
our
fine.
rural places don't have signal, you're going to
So
take the photo on your phone, and then how do you geolocate it?
Sorry, I was speeding up.
Sorry.
I should slow down in order to hurry up. So I'm a lone worker. I tend not to have the data function switched on because I want the phone to work if I need it for safety. I have location services on. If you take the observation within the app, it just holds it there and it'll upload it when you get home. So
including your location. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but you need to have location services on and it somehow records that as a tag. So that's really useful. Before I go, or there might be some more questions, I wanted to show you this just for some more context, because context is everything. This is the West Cowell Rainforest Habitat Restoration Project. If you're a user of iNaturalist over the course of this webinar, then you can join it. It's called the West Cowell Rainforest Habitat Restoration Project. Yeah. And it's funny, I've never been proud of a map before. This is where I live. Here's Glennon Wood down in here. Look at all those observations just by people who love the woods, sort of in here. But then we've got all of these other places. Look, there's across the way to Boot. Oh, I can't scroll. Yes, I can. Look at that. So what was just a wall of green suddenly is like, oh yeah, we do actually have internationally rare lichens and bryophytes. And oh, look at where the fockers and the badgers are just now. And do you know what I'm saying? It's like we're starting to populate something which was just a blank map before. And it's going to grow arms and legs, everyone. And it's also going to show people just what an incredibly rich, though fragmented habitat we have, which we're trying to work together in order to restore. So I'm over the moon that this has emerged through the good work of the Argyll Countryside Trust from a humble seat on the rocks during a wee lichen course. And Sharon, it did occur to me that should a lot of people within the Community Woodlands Association take up a collection project of their own, that might be something that the CWA would be interested in way further down the line in setting up an umbrella project too. So we could showcase all of the different things that are happening within our respective community woodlands. They could all exist.
Yeah, they could.
On a map like that.
Possibly something we could do. Pierce, that's something that you would be able to manage for us?
I suppose what you would need is quite a lot of initial engagement for collection projects. It would be possibly a bit lame to have just all of the maps, which were empty. You probably want them filling up first. I must apologise for scrolling in and out. I'm quite new to sharing screen content on a web page, so I know I've been sort of moving things around with my cursor. I look forward to the feedback about that, Sharon.
No, it's been really helpful to see that. We've got 5 minutes left, Rudian.
Yes.
Is there any more you want to share? Any more questions? I've got a little. In fact, I'm going to put the link in the chat just now rather than the QR code. And if people wouldn't mind giving us, as you're speaking, some feedback, that would be really helpful. And if not, I don't need to share my screen anymore. You can do that. We can just keep chatting for the next 5 minutes.
All I will say is everything I've attempted to share today is all of those hyperlinks are in the web chat. You can lift those right now. The More tab when you set up your project, if you were to sign in on the PC, in your iNaturalist account, you can look in the mocap, and there is a wealth of information there about setting things up. And also, if there are any specific questions you think I could help with, then my email's at the top of the chat too. I'd be happy to do that.
Fantastic. Okay.
And the last thing I would say too is that you could consider, once you've set up your project, hiding your own user account from your work. You know, you don't have to populate your project with your own observations. You could just use that app in your own time for your own learning about the wonderful book of nature that we have here in this country of ours. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we might have some. You're going to share a little QR code.
I don't need to do that anymore because I've just put the link in the chat.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
people can lift it from there.
Great.
What I am thinking is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there might be some funding opportunities or things that could really benefit from having screenshots or a bit of data shared from this app. It would be really useful to include in some kind of funding application if that were a requirement.
If that's a question for me, Sharon, I don't know, but I would say that it feels like a real success to have got this going within our community Woodland, and we're really hoping to draw in lots of enthusiasm from our membership now, you know.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Perfect.
I'm definitely open to ideas about funding.
Pierce has asked a question. Can you lift observations to add to a different archive of data, for example, a QGIS project?
Yes, I have not done this. We're using QGIS, we're using MyForest, and we're also occasionally adding observations to the NBN Atlas. We've only just got going, Piers, so I'm not sure if you can extrapolate things, you know, as a CSV file. Sorry, don't know. But you can draw up each observation and it'll have the geodata all there. So I tell you what, Piers, it's not going to help for the purposes of whoever's watching this webinar, but I'm going to go check that out straight after this call.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Rudian, this has been really useful, and I'm sure you've got people's imaginations ignited and they'll be overthinking this. How can we make this work for our community Woodland group? Because it's certainly a tool that's definitely worth looking at and doing more with. So really, really useful session. Thank you so much for your time. It has been recorded. It will be going live on our YouTube channel probably next week. So look out for that. And you may receive an email from the automated system from Teams webinar saying that you'll get access, you have a link to this recording. It won't work. I've deleted that link because we wanted to edit the video that we put on YouTube and share that. So please ignore that email that comes out. Thank you all very much for actively taking part and asking lots of really useful questions. And I'd love to hear how you get on with this. So if any of you have any success stories, please do reach back to CWA. Let us know how it's gone, and we can always include stuff in the newsletters and bulletins. So it would be great to hear from you. Please do submit, if you can, your feedback. It's useful for us, it's useful for Ridian, yeah, it helps us make sure that we meet the needs of our members. So it's almost 3 o'clock, 1 minute too. Well done, Ridian. Lovely to have you here, folks, and have a great rest of your afternoon.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Cheerio, Ridian.